Hello everyone, this is BronyCalc and welcome back to Parity Quest. Today's question is pi odd, even, or Steve? Now you might be wondering, how are we going to talk about a transcendental number when we barely talked about a small subset of the algebraic numbers? Well, fortunately, some of you may know that we can write pi as an infinite series in the following way. 4 minus 4/3 plus 4/5 minus 4/7, so on and so forth. All fractions with denominator 4, which as we know, denominator is odd, numerator is 4, so therefore every single one of these is even. And if we're summing a bunch of evens, we should get another even, right? I mean, that seems to make sense. But hold on for a second, because there might be more going on here than we realize. Let's start by considering the following sum. 2/3 plus 2/9 plus 2/27, and so on. So, here everything is once again even, and it's also a geometric series, so we can check what's going to happen here. We expect the sum of evens to be even, but if we try it out, we get 2/3, ratio is 1/3, so 1 minus 1/3. 2/3 over 2/3 is 1, which is odd. Okay, maybe just the sum of infinite evens gives an odd, but not so fast. Because if I put 4 up here, pardon my bad handwriting, then I get 2. Okay, so different even numbers can give different imparities, but we ask in a final plea of desperation, maybe all 4s give evens, and we have been finally saved. Well, unfortunately, we have one last sum to test. 4/9 plus 4/81 plus 4/729. So, this starts with 4/9, 1 minus 1/9. 4/9 over 8/9 is 1/2, giving us a Steve. And this is just for geometric series that we're getting all these results. I mean, could you imagine the kind of nonsense that would come up if we were to actually try a non-geometric series, like the one we have for pi? Okay, so now we conclude that evens can give odds, evens, or Steves, and that's really just not going to help us ever. But what happens if it's all just odds? If we sum a bunch of odds, well, the result should be pretty obvious. Just from geometric series, we get odd over 1 minus an odd ratio to keep it odd. Odd times odd is odd, odd times even is even. You guys get the picture. This is an odd divided by an even, or in other words, Steve. So, odd series, probably, maybe, I don't know, always give Steves. But then we could try a different way to get pi. Pi squared over 6, as some of you may know, is 1 plus, well, it's the sum of 1 over n squared for positive integers n. But what if we just did it for odd? Well, that's the sum for all positives minus the sum for evens, And since evens are just double the normal integers, we're dividing by a factor of 2 squared, or in other words, we get 3/4 of the sum of all of them. So if we multiply, we get pi squared times 2/9. This should be correct, pi squared. 2 pi squared over 9. You guys feel free to correct me if I've got some part of this wrong, but 2 pi squared over 9 is the sum of odds, which should give us Steve. A Steve divided by 2 is still a Steve. Steve times an odd, also a Steve. So therefore, pi squared is a Steve. And since odd squared is odd and even squared is even, the only possibility left for pi is that pi is a Steve. So, in a roundabout way, we have finally derived that pi is, in fact, a Steve. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed that, and just remember, infinite series are really weird. Like, comment, subscribe, share, etc., and I will see you all next time.